In today's video, I'm sharing 9 books that can completely change your financial future, just like they did for me. A few years ago, I honestly thought becoming a millionaire would take decades, maybe even a lifetime. But once I started diving into financial literacy, applying what I learned, and staying consistent, everything started moving much faster than I ever expected. In just a few short years, I reached financial freedom. Now, here's the thing. The more books I read, the more I realized that a lot of them repeat the same lessons. That's why I handpicked 9 that truly stand out. These books gave me the exact tools I needed, from shaping my mindset, boosting my earning power, to investing smarter, saving more, and spending wisely. And just so you know, I didn't start with any special advantage. I worked a corporate job and I was a single mom for 8 years, and I still became a self-made millionaire in my 30s. If I can do it, you can too. And these books are the best shortcut I can share with you. If you haven't already, hit that like button and subscribe so you don't miss out on more content like this. Now let's jump in. The first book that shaped my mindset about money and wealth is Rich Dad, Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki. It's one of the most influential personal finance books ever written. Even Will Smith said that he used it to teach his son about financial independence. The author compares 2 very different mindsets. His poor dad, biological father, who valued school and job security but never built wealth, and his rich dad, his friend's father, who became wealthy through entrepreneurship and investing. The key lesson, as Kiyosaki states in this book, is an asset puts money in my pocket. A liability takes money out of my pocket. Poor dad worked hard for money and used it on liabilities such as cars, debt, consumer goods that drain money, while rich dad focused on building assets like real estate, investments, and businesses. Or as it says in the book, the poor and middle class work for money. The rich have money work for them. Another powerful idea from this book is you are either a master of money or a slave to it. Rich dad believed in working to learn, not just to earn, because a paycheck alone wouldn't make you rich, but financial education and smart investing will. That's why this book, despite some controversies, has inspired people to think differently about wealth and financial freedom. Kiyosaki takes these ideas even further in his other book, Rich Dad's Cash Flow Quadrant, which is the second book I'm sharing today. He explained in that book that financial freedom comes from moving from the left side of the quadrant, where you either work for someone else or you work for yourself, but you are still trading time for money, to the right side, where money works for you. You can achieve this by owning a system or company that works for you, or having your money creates more money through investments. His main point is that real wealth comes from building businesses and investments that generate passive income, not just relying on a paycheck or self-employment. These 2 books were real eye-openers for me when I first read them back in 2020. I went through pretty good schools in China, Europe, and the US, and for the longest time, I thought that getting a decent and stable job, a nice title, and a solid paycheck was the goal. But these 2 books completely reset how I think about money, wealth, and how millionaires approach it. These are the lessons I never learned in school. That same year, 2020, I started building and investing in different kinds of assets. And within just a few years, I hit $1 million net worth. How did I do it? These next 7 books told me the how. They dive into the 4 key parts of money: earning, investing, saving, and spending, and give practical strategies to succeed in each area. The first book that talks about earning is So Good They Can't Ignore You by Cal Newport. The idea in this book is mastery creates leverage, which leads to higher income and career freedom. The author calls it career capital, which refers to skills that are rare, valuable, and hard to replace. The key is deliberate practice and persistent effort. Once you've built this career capital, you gain leverage. You're no longer stuck in low-paying or replaceable roles. You can negotiate better pay, pick projects you enjoy, or start your own business. For example, if you are a software engineer who masters machine learning and cloud system, you can ask for a high salary. If you are a designer who become a UX expert for big applications, you can land top clients or freelance gigs. If you are a chef who specializes in a rare cuisine, you can actually open your own high-end restaurants or consulting business. On top of that, mastery also gives you freedom and fulfillment. You get creativity and control over your work. For example, example, a software engineer might start a consulting firm, a designer could create online courses, or a chef could launch a cooking brand. The main takeaway is to become excellent at something rare and valuable. That's how you earn more and create freedom in your career. The second book that helped me boost earning potential is 10x is easier than 2x, and this is written by Dan Sullivan and Dr. Benjamin Hardy. The book argues that aiming for 10x growth can be actually easier than going for just 2x growth. Why? Because it forces you to simplify, focus on the highest impact actions, eliminate low-value tasks, delegate, and create leverage. In other words, it's about working smarter, not harder. Here are some key takeaways that really stuck with me. First, eliminate the 80%. Focus only on the 20% of activities that drive the biggest results. For example, a freelancer might stop doing small, low-paying gigs and focus on landing a few high-value clients. Second, make decisions based on the person you want to become, not who you are today. Instead of asking, what can I do today? Ask, what would the 10x version of me do today? For example, a writer might focus on writing and launching a book or course, rather than just posting daily blogs that don't really grow their audience. Third, say no to good opportunities so you can say yes to great ones. For example, a photographer might pass on a few weddings to focus on a commercial client that pays significantly more and gives national exposure. So those first two books are all about increasing your earning potential. But earning more money is only half the game. Once the money comes in, the real key is putting it to work for you. That's where the next 4 books come in because they focus on investing. The first investing book I want to share is The Little Book of Common Sense Investing by John C. Bogle. He founded Vanguard and pretty much invented the idea of index fund. In this book, he believes that the best way to build wealth over time is to buy and hold low-cost index funds that track the whole stock market. As Bogle says, don't look for the needle in the haystack, just buy the haystack, because most actively managed funds underperform their benchmarks over long periods. And on top of that, active funds usually come with higher costs, things like management fees, commissions, and taxes from frequent trading. All of that quietly eats away at your returns. Instead, with index funds, you keep fees extremely low and let compounding do the heavy lifting. The strategy is also simple. Hold for decades. Don't chase hot stocks, don't get distracted, and don't get panic when the market dips. Stay invested through the ups and downs because history shows that over time, markets grow. Another benefit is diversification. By owning an index funds, you are spreading your money across hundreds, if not thousands of companies. If some struggle, others balance it out. Personally, I don't only use Vanguard. I also use low-cost index funds from Fidelity, Charles Schwab, and others. And if you want to go deeper into this approach, there are several other great books with similar message. Pick whichever one speaks to you. Any of them will set you on the right path. The stock market is great, but real estate has unique advantages. Steady rental cash flow, leverage through mortgages, tax breaks, and protection against inflation. Plus, properties can grow in value and be improved over time. That's why real estate creates so many millionaires. So the next 2 books I want to share are all about real estate investing. The first one is Long Distance Real Estate Investing by David Green. David is a former police officer who turned himself into a real estate powerhouse, building a huge portfolio of properties. His big message is this: you don't have to leave where you invest. With the right systems, teams, and processes, you can buy and manage properties anywhere. It really blew my mind when I first read this. I live in California, where real estate is crazy expensive. If I only invested locally, I would have been stuck. Because of this book, I let go of the idea that I had to see and touch every property. In fact, none of the properties I've bought over the years are local, and most are out of state. I've never seen even most of them in person, but they've been generating positive cash flow for years. So I highly recommend this book if you're interested in real estate. My own experience proves that location shouldn't limit you. You should invest where the numbers make sense, not just where you live. This book also shows you how to build a trusted local team, property managers, contractors, realtors, lenders, and how to use systems that let you manage properties from anywhere. It even walks you through analyzing deals remotely using photos, approvals, inspections, and comps. Now, you might be thinking, but I don't have money to invest in real estate. If that's you, hang tight, because the next book is the book on investing in real estate with no and low money down by Brandon Turner. The idea is that you don't need a pile of cash to get started. What really matters is creativity, resourcefulness, and knowing how to structure deals. Brandon shows you how to use other people's money, banks, private lenders, partners, even seller financing, instead of just using your own savings. What I like about this book is that it's very practical. It's not just theory. It gives real strategies, real examples, and tools you can actually try. Of course, you will need to adapt them to your own situation, your market, your credit, and your resources. Sometimes you will even need to mix strategies to make a deal work. But the point is, you absolutely can get started without being rich upfront. Apart from stocks and real estate, another powerful way to build wealth is by buying businesses directly. That's where the next book comes in, Main Street Millionaire by Cody Sanchez. Her core message is, ownership is the key to your freedom. Cody states that some of the most reliable wealth comes from owning ordinary, boring businesses, things like plumbing companies, laundromats, cleaning services, or electrical shops. They may not sound glamorous, but these businesses usually have steady demand, low failure rates, and positive cash flow from day one. What I love about this book is that it makes buying businesses feel accessible. You don't have to be super wealthy or well-connected. Cody teaches creative ways to structure deals, like seller financing or revenue sharing. So even if you don't have huge capital upfront, you can still start. She also lays out a clear framework, how to find businesses, buy them, integrate operations, and then scale them. It's not just motivational fluff, it's an actual playbook. So that wraps up the 4 books on investing. The last book I want to share is about spending and saving, The Millionaire Next Door by Thomas Stanley. This book really challenges common ideas about wealth. It shows that ordinary people can achieve financial independence through smart habits, discipline, and focusing on building assets instead of spending on status symbols. Millionaires often live below their means. They buy practical cars, avoid luxury brands, and shop at stores like Walmart or Costco. It also emphasizes that real wealth comes from accumulation, not consumption. I resonate with this a lot. For example, I live in California, but my daughter and I keep a modest lifestyle, about $2,500 a month for rent, groceries, utilities, transport, healthcare, and education. The money we don't spend goes straight into investments. I even made a video showing 10 simple swaps that saved me $14,000 a year, and I'll put the link in the description below if you want to check it out later. Another key idea is that income doesn't equal wealth. High earners can still be broke if they overspend, while moderate earners can build real wealth through discipline. And that's it. Those are the 9 books that changed my life and helped me become a self-made millionaire. From mindset to earning, investing, saving, and spending. Each one gave me practical lessons I couldn't learn in school. Take even a few ideas and put them into action. It can change your financial life too. If you enjoyed this video, you might like this video as well. I'll see you there.